this video, I'm going to be going over the 1.1 to 1.3 quiz review. Number 1 says, given a function has a constant rate of change of 2.7, anytime it says constant rate of change, that's my m, and it passes through the point 5.8, what is the value of y when x equals 4.6? So, I don't have it on the review, but I will have it on the test. I'm going to have different formulas for you. Oops, So, on number 1, I can use any of these formulas, the first two. They're the same, they're just rewritten with the y1 on different sides of the equation. I'm going to use this first one because it'll get me my answer quicker because it's already in the right form. So I have y equals, my m was 2.7. X, it tells me, is 4.6. My x of 1 is 4. And then I want to add 5.8. So I can do all of this by hand, or I can type this all into my calculator. I'm going to type it into my calculator. I'm going to make sure I pay attention to my parentheses. So I get 7.4. My y value. Number 2 says find the delta x and the delta y from the point on the left to the point on the right. So delta x is how much I'm changing from left to right. I am going over 6. And then I am going down 3 to negative 1, so down 4. If I'm counting squares, I need to be careful and make sure that my squares are counting by 1, which they are in this picture. If not, I can also remember to use not quite the slope formula. For delta x, it's going to be x sub 2 minus x sub 1, and then delta y is going to be y sub 1 minus, y sub 2 minus y sub 1. Okay, number 3 wants me to write it in the different formats through the points. So, point slope formula is the middle one I have up top. So, before I can plug in any of my formulas, I actually want to first find my slope. So I'm going to have 15 minus 7 over negative 3 minus, minus negative 7. So 15 minus 7 is 8. 3 minus negative 7 is 4. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So now that I have that, I can plug into my point slope. That is going to be, I'm going to write it off this slide right here. I'm going to have y minus, my y sub 1 is 7, my slope is 2, and then I'm going to have x minus negative 7. The double negative I will turn positive. On this one, I could have used the second point as well. And that one, hold on, let me finish writing this. That one, I would have y minus 15 equals 2 times x plus 3. So, same format, just different numbers. The linear function formula is just adding that 7 over to the other side. And the slope-intercept formula is simplifying. So, I'm going to distribute. That's going to be 2x plus 14 plus 7. Combining the 14 and the 7 gives me 21. Okay. This one says, given that the change in y is negative 5 times my change in x, find the table, complete the table of values. So I'm going to first do delta y from here to here to find this missing box right here. I am going from 3 to negative 1. Oops, I wrote the negative 5 up front. So, negative 3 minus negative 1 is going to be adding. So I have negative 5 times 4, which is negative 20. So to go from this first box to this box, I'm subtracting 20. So I need to go backwards. I want to add 20. That is going to give me positive 9. Then I want to do the same thing for the next one. So I'm going to do my delta y, negative 5 times, I'm looking between 7 and 3 because I'm just focusing on those two boxes for now. So I'm going to have 7 minus 3, which again is negative 5 times 4, which is again negative 20. So I want to, since I'm going this way, I'm going to subtract the 20, which gets me negative 31. And I'm going to do the same thing for my last two boxes, so between the 7 and the 9. That is going to be 9 minus 7, which is 2. Negative 5 times 2 is negative 10. So for between these two boxes, I want to count down 10. That is going to be negative 41. Number 5 says, suppose the change in y equals m times the change in x for some constant m. Write the slope-intercept formula for each table. So, I need to find my slope. I'm going to label this one x1, y1, x2, y2. I'm going to use my slope formula. Remember, this one is m equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. This formula you will need to remember. It is not on your quiz tomorrow. So I'm going to have 6 minus 2 over 2 minus 0, which gives me 4 over 2, which is 2. So I'm going to have 2x, and it wants it in slope-intercept form, so that's y equals mx plus b. My b value is the one that is with the 0 for the x, so plus 2. Same thing over here. I'm going to do x1, y1, x2, y2. So I'm going to have 1 minus negative 8 over negative 11 minus negative 14. It's going to simplify to 9 over 3. Simplifies to 3. So I have 3x. This one I do not have a 0 value, so I'm going to have to plug into my point slope form and solve. So I'm going to do y minus negative 8 equals 3 times x minus negative 14. And I want to simplify. So it's going to be y plus 8 equals 3 times x plus 14. I want to distribute that 3, which is going to give me 3x, I don't know, 3 times 14. 42. Then I want to subtract 8, so I get y equals 3x plus 34. Same idea on this one. This is going to be my x1, y1, x sub 2, y sub 2. So I'm going to have 2.5 minus 3 over negative 1 minus negative 2. This is going to simplify to negative 0.5 over 1. So my y is going to equal negative 0.5x, and then I have my y-intercept on here, so I can add the 2 right there. Okay, on the back side it says, suppose that you know two variables x and y are related such that the change in y is 1/2 the change in x. If x changes from 2 to 10, the change in y would be, so I'm going to plug in, I'm going to have 1/2, and then it's going to be 10 minus 2, because this is going to be my x1 and this is going to be my x2. So 1/2, 10 minus 2 is 8, so 1/2 of 8 is 4. Y would change by blank if x changes from 1 to negative 11. So again, I'm going to plug in. I have negative 11 minus 1. That's 1/2 of negative 6. So negative 3. If y changes from negative 8 to 16, x would change by, so this is my y1, y2. So instead, I'm going to plug in, because remember, this can be rewritten as y sub 2 minus y sub 1 equals 1/2 x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So I was plugging this in. So I'm going to have 16 minus negative 8 equals 1/2, and I'm going to leave it as the change in x. 16 minus negative 8 is really adding, so I get 24 equals 1/2 my change in x. To get rid of the half out front, I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, and I get 48. Number 7 says, suppose we know that the changes in variables are related to delta y equals -3 delta x. Find the value of delta y as x changes from -2.7 to x equals 5.3. So same thing as we were just doing in the other one, just different numbers. So delta y equals -3 times 5.3 minus 2.7. 5.3 minus 2.7, pretty sure is 1.6, but let me double check. Yeah, 2.6 times -3 is -7.8. Number 8 wants me to write an equation that passes through the point -4, 7, and is parallel to the line. Parallel means same slope. So I am going to plug in. I'm going to have y minus 7 equals 3, x minus -4. And then I want to simplify this into slope-intercept form. So I'm going to leave this alone for right now while I take care of my double negative. I'm going to distribute on the right side. It's going to turn into 3x plus 12. Then I want to add 7 to both sides. I get y equals 3x plus 19. Number 9 wants it to pass through the point and be perpendicular. So this is x sub 1, y sub 1. Perpendicular is opposite reciprocal. So I have to first solve for y. So then I get y equals -1/2 x plus 3. So now I want opposite sign. So my slope is going to be positive. And reciprocal means flip the fraction, so I get 2. Plugging in, I'm going to have y minus -9 equals 2 times x minus 5. So really y plus 9 equals 2x minus 5. Distribute that 2. So I get 2x minus 10. Subtract 9 on both sides. Y equals 2x minus 19. Okay, number 10 says Mrs. Campos is choosing between buying books from Amazon or at Barnes & Noble. The cost of $y of ordering books on Amazon for X books is y equals 6.75x plus 150. The cost of buying books at Barnes & Noble is shown in the table below. So I want to write the equation in slope-intercept form that is showing me this table. So I need to first find my slope. That is going to be 15 minus 750 over 2 minus 1, so 7.5 over 1. And then I don't know my intercept, so I have to plug in. So I'm going to have y minus my x sub 1, or my y sub 1 is 750, and my slope is 750. X minus x sub 1 is 1. Distribute, I have y minus 7.5 on the left still, and then 7.5x minus 7.5. I want to add 7.5 to each side, and I get y equals 7.5x. So that is my equation. I could also write 750x, since I am talking about money. Both are the same. Which makes sense because there is no shipping fee to get books that I pick up in the store. B is asking which one charges more per book. So that would be my slope. The table was Barnes & Noble. And then how many books would have to be purchased for the cost to be the same from both stores? So I want to set my two equations equal to each other. I'm going to have 750x equals 6.75x plus 150. So then I subtract the 675. Oops. Which is 0.75 x equals 150. And then I want to go ahead and divide both sides by the 0.75. So that would be 2x.